Since the Andromeda update rolled out, a lot of advertisers have been losing their minds, confused about how to test ad creatives properly. And in this video, I am going to show you how e-commerce brands can still test ad creative properly post-Andromeda. At my agency, Digital Street Australia, we spend more than $500,000 a month across our brands' ad accounts. And trust me, we do a lot of ad testing, because if you're running ads for different categories, whether it's skincare, mattresses, cleaning companies, creative is still one of the biggest levers you have. But the way you test has changed. The old method of throwing 5 similar ads into a campaign and hoping Meta gives each one a fair chance is dead. That is not how the algorithm behaves anymore. So today in this video, I am going to break down the biggest problem most advertisers face: testing properly. Now that the Andromeda update has rolled out, the biggest challenges we face in the ads account is to test more creative diversity and volume. Not just more ads, but what Meta likes to call different ads. This means each piece of creative in your campaign or ad set needs to feel meaningfully different from the others. So let's say you're running ads for a mattress brand. You might have one winning static ad that says "still waking up sore," and now you want to test a few small variations like "still waking up tired," "your mattress might be the problem," "upgrade your sleep without overpaying," "66% off a mattress," etc. To you, as a performance marketer, those are very different messages. One is pain-led, one is problem solution, one is a value-led thing, other might be an offer. But to Meta, if the visual is the same, the layout is the same, and the product image is the same, then it is a same ad. It is basically not different for the algorithm. And Meta may just pick one version, push spend into that, and the others never really get a fair shot. And that's a big problem. You think you're testing 5 different ads, but in reality, Meta may only be properly testing one, because all the spend will go to that one ad. Now, Meta is doing this because it's trying to find different creative for different people. And in theory, that makes sense. A busy mom shopping for a natural cleaning bundle may respond to a completely different ad than someone who really cares about preservatives or whatever the case might be. Similarly, a skincare buyer may respond to clinical proof, and another buyer in the same category might respond better to a before and after ad. So different people respond to different ways of advertising. Meta, as we know, is now targeting more based on audience signals and not just interests. And that's why creative diversity matters. But here's where it gets tricky. When you find a winning ad format, you usually want to squeeze more out of it. Let's just say you're running an ad for a whole home natural cleaning starter kit. You have a static ad showing the full bundle. It works. Now you want to test the same ad with different headline options. So you want to maybe clean your home naturally, synthetic chemicals, etc. So you want to test different angles and different headlines. You want to maybe put a review quote on. Those changes may look very minor visually, but you know as an advertiser that they make a huge difference to your brand's performance or to your ad's performance, because they are talking to your customers' pain point. So the level of testing matters in e-commerce, because tiny shifts in message change your cost per acquisition, your return on ad spend, your average order value, your conversion rate. But post Andromeda, if all of these ads look the same, they're too similar, Meta may not give equal spend to all these ads. So what is the solution? The better way to test small but important differences is by using Meta's creative testing tool inside the ads manager. You'll see this creative testing option tool. This tool allows you to compare multiple variations of your creative in a test that helps ensure delivery to new test ads. Now you want to test 5 different overlays. It's the same visual, you want to test the copy on top. Still waking up sore, your mattress might be costing you better sleep, 66% off, premium comfort without the premium marker, over 500,000 happy sleepers. These are not random variations. Each one tests a different buying trigger. So it is doing pain, it's problem awareness, it's your offer, you're testing social proof. And without this creative testing tool, Meta might see these as too similar and heavily favor one. However, with the creative testing tool, you have have a better structure for finding which message actually drives the lowest cost per purchase or better return on ad spend. Now choose the right metric here. This is the important part. When setting up your creative test, do not judge the winner based on vanity metrics such as engagements, because Meta will, depending on your budget as well, Meta will show you these options. So for me, I care about metrics like cost per purchase, purchase conversion value, return on ad spend, etc. So just look at the metrics that you really want to test as well. Okay, the second most important thing that you really need to look for is your budget. Now, if you're spending $30 a day testing 5 versions for 7 days, you may not get enough data to confidently know which ad is better. This is because if your product is at a higher price point, you need to put in more budget. So choose your budget judiciously as well. So the right test duration depends on your daily budget, your product price, your conversion volume, and of course the number of creative you're putting in. Let's say you have a winning static ad for a skincare brand. The visual is simple, product short, clinical claim, reviews, quotes, kind of an ad, and it has performed well for months. Now you want to refresh it because performance has started declining. You do not need to completely throw out. You can test variations of the elements that matter. For example, version 1 can be a clinical proof angle, clinically tested vitamin C for brighter looking skin, and version 2 can be a problem solution angle, dark spots look louder than your skincare routine. So you can just make sure that you're doing variations and testing against in your ad account. So when do you not need to do this creative testing? I don't think you should be using this tool for every single test. If you're testing very different formats, Meta is more likely to treat them as different ads anyway. So for example, if you're doing a founder video versus a product demo, there's no need to test these. Or maybe a UGC testimonial versus a polished studio shot, a static review ad versus a comparison ad. These are different creatives in any case. So I don't think you need to use the creative testing tool for these. These are different enough that Meta will usually recognize them as separate creatives. In the early stages of e-commerce testing, you often are testing bigger creative questions like, for example, I typically like to use these for creative that I have already tested before and they have started declining, and I just want to find how can I retain this winning ad. So if you have a winning direction, that is where your detailed testing really becomes valuable. This is where the creative testing tool can really help you. So if I were to break it down, stage 1 is concept testing. This is where you test big, meaningfully different ideas. So, for a pet brand, that might be muddy paws, wet dog smell, furniture protection. So you've got your different angle as well. Secondly is then once you find a winning territory, you move into stage 2, and that is variation testing. This is where you test the finer details with different hooks, different headline overlays, different opening scenes, different CTAs, and different offer treatments. One of the best use cases for the creative testing tool is video hook testing. So as we all know that the first 3 seconds of your ads are everything today. They really need to stop the scroll. So a great hook can make an average video work as well. But a weak hook can kill an otherwise strong ad. And that's really important. Let's say you have a strong video body for a mattress brand, but your hook is weak, or maybe you want to test multiple hooks. Then this creative testing tool really is your best friend. Post-Andromeda, Meta may look at those videos with different hooks and the same body as the same ad. So using the creative testing tool gives you a better way to compare those hooks properly. So you do not throw out your hook testing. Post-Andromeda, a lot of advertisers say you cannot judge, you cannot just change the first 3 seconds anymore. That's not the right takeaway. The right takeaway is you can still test hooks, but you need to test them properly. And this creative testing tool really helps you do exactly that. So if you have a winning video ad, one of the smartest things you can do is to create new hooks for it, because we all understand that creating ads is expensive, time consuming, and the quickest way to test them is to change the hook of winning ads. Now I want to make this practical because one of the biggest pieces of advice floating right now is that you need 200 completely different creative week after week. Most brands can't afford this. Let's be honest, it's we have limited time, limited budgets, and we don't want to use AI slop. So with limited footage, limited UGC, what can you really do in a scenario like this? So telling every brand to produce 200 completely different ads every week is not always realistic. You need a system you can actually stick to, and the goal is not to create chaos. The goal is to create enough diversity to feed Meta while still testing in a structured way. The biggest takeaway with this creative testing tool is you get to take your winning content, change the hooks, and put it in the tool and test as much as you want to. The level 2 of testing here is also the message testing. You can again use the creative tool to test different messaging formats as well. The way I think about creative testing Post-Andromeda is a bit like a fitness routine. The perfect fitness routine is useless if you cannot stick to it. Same with creative production. The perfect MetaAds testing system is useless if your team cannot actually produce the volume, variety, and quality required every week or every month. So instead of aiming for a perfect system, aim for a repeatable one. For e-commerce brands, that means create enough creative diversity for Meta. Use structured tests when comparing small but important changes. Do not guess your hooks, do not abandon winning formats too early, and don't rely on one ad to do all the selling. So the brands that win Post-Andromeda will not just be the brands making the most ads, they will be the brand making different ads, testing them properly and turning insights into the next round of creative. So that is the new way to think about testing Facebook ads for e-commerce brands Post-Andromeda. Test big differences when you're looking for new winners. Use the creative testing tool when you need to compare smaller but important variations. Keep your creative production realistic, and most importantly, keep testing like a marketer, not like someone throwing spaghetti at the algorithm and hoping Meta feels generous. I've used these exact strategies and scaled e-commerce businesses like Lull Mattresses, Beauty Stats to 7-figure months. And if you want us to help you apply this to your brand, click on the link below in the description to see if you're a good fit.